Well, welcome to Deeply Rooted Botanical Medicine with Stephanie Georgieff. I'm your host and instructor for the online class Living Pharmacy from Seed to Body to Soul. And if you would like to be the first on your block, your neighborhood, in your church, synagogue, or mosque to know most of what is available in terms of practice, science, and application of botanical medicine, please click on the link in your program notes and you will be directed to the Living Pharmacy School, where you can choose from several botanical medicine courses. And we've got something for everyone there, which will fit anybody's time, how much time they have available, the budget they're willing to spend, and also whatever your wallet is allowing you at this point. Now, for the month of August, listeners will get a 50% off coupon for the Botanical First Aid course. And these Materia Medica Mondays, which is the regular Monday feature of Deeply Rooted, during the month of August, we have been exploring different plants for first aid. Obviously, all these plants have many, many different uses, but we're focusing on things that you can put into your botanical medicine first aid kit, which if you take the course, you'll be giving handouts and lists and how-tos and things to put in your first aid kit, as well as different categories like skin problems, sore throats, tummy aches, you name it. So definitely check that out. It will increase in price by double on September the 1st. So if you would like this, definitely get that before the month is done. You will be able to look at the course as many times as you want. But if you want to get the special price, you have to do that quickly. Now, for this week's Materia Medica Monday, we're going to be exploring an herb that is really an amazing herb. It's also a beautiful plant. It's a wonderful pollinator if you want to grow it in your garden. And I do most of my information and experience from Southern California, and this is a drought-tolerant plant. So it's really a wonderful thing to grow in your garden, and so many parts of this plant are very healing in many different ways, and we will be looking at Achillea millefolium, which is known in popular language as yarrow. Now, this is a flowering plant, again, in the Asteraceae family. And there's all sorts of interesting common names for these. I've never seen these, but I always have fun when I start doing research for these Materia Medica Mondays, because when you look in different herbals, especially older ones, you get all these cool names. And this one I think is interesting. It's called Old Man's Pepper. I have no idea why it's called that. Soldier's Wound Wort, which I think gives you a little indication that it's been used as a first aid remedy for a while. And the other one I like is sanguinary. Sanguine is a Latin word for the blood humor. So this Asteraceae family, which is the sunflower or daisy family. This means that it has lots of flowers in its head and also a deep taproot. And the focus of this family is that it collects sunlight in all those little flowers and it transforms it into the soil. This plant is native to the temperate regions of the Northern Hemisphere in Asia, Europe, and North America. Yarrow has an erect stalk and it's covered with little hairs, and it can grow quite tall. It can grow up to 4 feet tall, and it has these narrow oblong leaves that kind of look like little feathers. And It has a stem that has rosettes spreading across the ground, and the white or grayish white flowers are quite numerous and small. Some species, or I guess members of this family, can be pink. My awareness of the medicinal properties are mainly with the white or yellow type of flowers, and the reason it's in these flowers are there's quite a few of them, and the reason it's called millefolium, which is the leaves have these feather-like structures, and folium is the Latin word for leaves, and milli means thousand. So that's really how you can tell that this is yarrow. It's really to me more identifiable by the leaf. Now, this plant, yarrow, has been used for centuries as a battlefield and first aid herb. And its botanical name is for the Greek hero Achilles, who was said the Greeks have been used this to treat soldiers' wounds. And if you're up on your Greek mythology, you know he didn't dip his ankle, and that's where all the problems start. So if you're going to go on the battlefield, you need to dip your whole body in it. So I'm just teasing. Now, the key herbal actions of yarrow in first aid, it's what we call a hemostatic, which basically means it stops bleeding. And that's where this sanguinaria comes in terms of the common name for this herb. And anything that stops bleeding or astringes, it has a lot of what we call tannins in it, and that helps constrict tissues, and it constricts blood vessels, which is how you stop bleeding. It also encourages clot formation, and it's really good for superficial wounds. It's excellent for cuts and scrapes, especially nosebleeds. And it's also really good for, if you're shaving, whatever part of your body you shave, if you get a little nick, this plant is wonderful for that. And also for minor puncture wounds. And traditionally, the leaves were crushed and applied directly to the wound in a field first aid. Yarrow, as it said, it has astringent properties. This is also due to the tannins. It also has anti-inflammatory properties. It helps stop inflammation and swelling. It's really good for bruises. It's good for sprains. It's wonderful for insect bites. And it has mild antibacterial and antiseptic properties. There are volatile oils in there. You can get an essential oil of yarrow. So it really helps kill bacteria and other things. It helps reduce infection in minor wounds. And you can use this, if you use like a tea, you can clean your scrape or minor cut with this, or you can use it as a compress. So you can soak like a washcloth in it and put it over something. It's really good. It also promotes wound healing. It encourages healthy skin production. It also supports circulation in the damaged tissues, and there's some research and anecdotal evidence that it speeds the healing of superficial wounds. Now, the traditional first aid preparations, this is something you can do out in the field if you make sure that you're using yarrow, but you basically crush the leaves and squish them into a mash and apply directly on to any minor bleeding wound. You can cover this with a clean cloth or bandage, but when you get back to wherever you are, make sure you take this off and clean it off, and then do whatever you're going to do with your wound healing. The other way that it's really good is to make a tea out of it. anywhere from 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried yarrow, and it's usually the flowers that you get in your dried yarrow tea. You cool this, strain out the bulk herb, and you can use this as a wound wash or a soak for minor cuts, scrapes, and skin irritations. And as I said before, this is really good as a compress. And so in your first aid kit, you can have, cloth compresses like made out of felt or old baby diapers that you've cut up in order to obviously washed, but you can use those as a compress, and it's really good on things like bruises or sprains. It's also wonderful on swollen insect bites. The other thing that's really interesting is that it's awesome for minor nosebleeds. And it's mainly because of its astringent and hemostatic, which means it stops bleeding. And the traditional folk use, this is the most famous traditional use. You basically get a yarrow leaf, you gently crush and bruise it, and then you roll it into a small, I guess, almost like a little plug or a mini cigarette, and you put it just inside your bleeding nostril. Don't put it in too deeply. You don't want to have to fish that out. But that's a really great way to stop the bleeding, out in the field. And basically, historically, travelers and shepherds and soldiers and field workers used this when there was no other supplies available. You can also get dried yarrow leaf and powder that up. You can purchase it powdered or get the dried stuff. You can either dry your leaves that you're growing in your plant in like a food dehydrator and put that in a coffee grinder. I have in my own way of being in the world, I have one coffee grinder that I just use for herbal products. I'm one of the few humans on the earth that doesn't like coffee. But I do have one so that I can, do things for my guests, but I don't want to double dip, as they say. So I have one coffee grinder just for herbal stuff. So you can grind this up and you can put a little bit of this snuff on the entrance of the nostril, and the powder's astringent properties can help constrict tissues and support clotting. Don't inhale. I think the fresh plug is a better idea, but this is also suggested. And another way to use this is to make a strong tea, cool it completely, soak a clean cloth or a cotton pad in the infusion, and you can place this in your nostril and, lie down, put your head up. If you have a lot of nosebleeds, you know what to do. But this is really a wonderful way to do this. So this, it's interesting. The old herbalists called this the nosebleed plant. Because the fresh leaf was used to stop nosebleed. So those old herbalists knew what they were doing. So it's a wonderful plant to grow in your garden. You can get, usually at most nurseries, they carry this, and definitely get the white colored flowers. And you can put it in an area of your garden that you don't really know what else to do with. I suggest full sun or as much sun as possible. And as I said, it's definitely a pollinator attractor. It's drought tolerant, and the leaves and flowers are really, really, really healing. So this is Stephanie Georgieff saying thank you again for spending your valuable time with me as we journey forward in our August series on botanical medicine for first aid. Make sure to check out the link in the program notes. You will be directed to the Living Pharmacy School. And once on the platform, there are several botanical medicine courses, and you can pick and choose. You can get as many as you like or just one. If you're interested in the Botanical First Aid, that is a separate course. And again, for a couple more weeks, this will be half off if you have the coupon. And starting on September 1st, it will be full price after that. If you buy it on, the day before September 1st, you will still get that price off and you will be able to enjoy the course at your leisure. But if you wait until September 1st, you will pay full price. And either price, it is totally worth it. So until our next episode, be well.